My child, stop what you are doing and listen to me carefully, because this is not just another message. It is a revelation that will shake what hath been hidden in your life. If you have felt confusion, pressure, strange heaviness, or a shift you cannot explain, then this word is for you. And you need to stay with me all the way to the end, because I am about to uncover what has been operating behind the scenes. Do not click away when it gets uncomfortable, because the part you are tempted to skip may be the very part that sets you free. Stay present. Stay open. Let every word reach you. What I am about to reveal will expose the fog, break false agreements, and pull you into a clarity you cannot afford to miss. Listen closely, because if you hear this with your spirit, you will not leave the same way you came. My child, I have heard your questions. I have listened to the prayers you whispered when nobody else knew what was pressing on you. I have watched you search for clarity in the middle of confusion, for direction in the middle of delay, for reassurance in the middle of internal noise that has made it hard for you to trust what you feel. I know how many times you have come to me asking what is happening. I know how often you have wanted me to explain the closed doors, the shifting relationships, the heaviness in your spirit, the strange discomfort in places that once felt familiar, the inner tension that keeps rising when you try to settle back into the old version of your life. I heard every bit of that. I am not distant from your questions. I am not annoyed by your need for understanding. I am not offended that you want answers. But I need to tell you something now with love and with firmness, because this is where the conversation must deepen if the revelation is going to truly help you. You have been asking me for answers, but I am also asking you for honesty. Not polite honesty, not service honesty, not the kind of honesty that admits what is easy while protecting what is painful. I am asking for the kind that opens the locked room. I am asking for the kind that stops explaining away what your spirit already knows. I am asking for the kind that lets your mouth say what your heart has been avoiding. Because I can answer questions all day, but if you remain committed to hiding from the deeper truth, you will keep receiving insight that never becomes transformation. You will hear my voice and still remain trapped in patterns that survive because you keep protecting them with half-truths. So let me ask you something directly, and I want you to let it land without rushing to defend yourself. Are you truly ready for the answer, or are you only ready for an answer that does not require you to change? That matters. It matters more than you think. Because many times you have come to me wanting clarity, but what you really wanted was comfort without confrontation. You wanted reassurance that did not disturb your routines. You wanted peace without exposure. You wanted healing without naming the wound all the way down to the root. You wanted me to bless the version of the story that made you feel least vulnerable. I understand why. I know how tired you were. I know how much you have already carried. I know how tempting it is to ask for relief while still avoiding what feels costly to face. But if I love you, and I do, then I cannot keep giving you soothing words while you continue protecting what is hurting you. I cannot keep confirming your surface questions while your deeper life remains unexamined. I cannot keep answering the symptom while the root sits untouched. So now I am inviting you into something more mature, more sacred, and yes, more uncomfortable at first. Honesty. Real honesty. The kind that says, I know this relationship drains me, and I keep returning because I am afraid of the emptiness I will feel without it. The kind that says, I know this habit is not helping me, but I keep defending it because it gives me quick relief when I do not want to sit with my pain. The kind that says, I keep calling this wisdom, but it is actually fear. The kind that says, I keep asking why I feel far from peace, but I already know there are places in my life where I am not being truthful. That is the honesty I am after. And I need you to understand that I am not asking for it because I want to expose you harshly. I am asking for it because honesty is where healing becomes possible. Lies, especially the subtle ones you tell yourself to survive, keep you bound even when you are sincerely praying. Denial can coexist with devotion for a long time, but it will still block deeper freedom. So come closer now. Stop editing your inner life for me. I already know it. Bring it all. Bring the contradiction. Bring the confusion. Bring the private justifications. Bring the hidden attachments. Bring the exhaustion. Bring the shame. Bring the part of you that knows exactly what I am talking about right now. Lay it down. Tell the truth. Because the answer you are asking for is already moving toward you, but it needs a heart that is willing to receive it without self-protection. And I want you to notice something important, because this is where your spiritual growth is becoming very real. The more I bring you closer to truth, the more you are going to feel tension between your desire for clarity and your instinct to preserve comfort. That tension is not proof you are failing. It is proof that something real is happening. You are standing at the edge of transformation, and transformation always confronts what has been hidden behind polished language. It is easy to say, "Lord, show me what is wrong." It is harder when I begin highlighting something you love, something you depend on, something you have built identity around, something you have used to cope, something you have allowed because it kept you from feeling the full weight of your pain. That is where honesty gets tested. And I want to walk with you through that without letting you turn away. So do not be afraid of what rises in you when I ask for truth. If you feel defensive, pay attention. If you feel the urge to explain, pay attention. If you feel yourself reaching for excuses, pay attention. Those reactions are not there to shame you. They are signals. They show you where the truth is pressing against something that has survived by staying protected. Let that help you instead of embarrass you. If you feel resistance, ask why. If you feel the urge to minimize, ask why. If you feel yourself saying, "It is not that bad," or "This is just how I am," or "I can handle it," ask why. That is where your deeper work is. I want more of that kind of self-awareness from you. I want you to stop treating your internal reactions as random. They are windows. They reveal what still feels threatened by truth. And when you begin to see that, you stop praying only for answers and start praying for alignment. You start saying, "Search me." You start saying, "Show me where I am protecting what you are trying to heal." You start saying, "Help me stop lying to myself in ways that sound reasonable." That is powerful. That is brave. That is where I can do deep work quickly because you are no longer spending all your energy hiding from what your spirit already knows. So invite me there. Right now, even as you read, let the questions rise. What have you been pretending is fine? What have you been calling just a phase that has become a pattern? What have you been labeling discernment that is really unhealed fear? What have you been keeping because it fills a gap, even though it keeps your spirit weak? What are you still blaming on everyone else that I want to show you from a deeper angle? Ask these things. Sit with them. Do not rush to answer them with your intellect. Let your spirit respond. Let the truth come up slowly if it needs to. I am patient, but I want your honesty more than I want your performance. I would rather hear your trembling truth than your polished spirituality. I would rather have your broken confession than your carefully managed image. I would rather meet the real you in the dark than the edited you in the light. That is how much I want closeness with you. That is how much I want this revelation to go all the way down. So now, my child, here is what I want you to do as we move forward. Stop asking me for answers while withholding the part of you that already knows what I have been highlighting. Do not make me speak around what your spirit has already recognized. Bring it forward. Name it. Be specific. Be brave. If there is a person you know is affecting your peace, admit it. If there is a habit you know is dulling your spirit, admit it. If there is a private fear that keeps masquerading as wisdom, admit it. If there is bitterness you keep dressing up as discernment, admit it. If there is exhaustion because you keep saying yes where your soul needs to say no, admit it. That kind of honesty is not weakness. It is the doorway. It is the threshold. It is the turning point between endless analysis and actual freedom. And I need you to understand this. Once you become honest, my answers will start landing differently. They will stop sounding vague. They will stop feeling distant. They will stop floating above your life. They will begin cutting directly into the places that matter because you are no longer asking me to protect your comfort more than your calling. That is what I want for you. I want you free enough to hear clearly. I want you soft enough to receive correction without collapsing. I want you strong enough to face what needs facing without numbing out. I want you humble enough to let the truth change your interpretation of your own story. So do not fear honesty. Welcome it. Invite it. Let it read. Practice it with me. Say, I want the real answer, even if it costs me the version of the story that kept me comfortable. Say, I want truth, not just relief. Say, I want healing, not just soothing. Say, if I have been protecting what is hurting me, show me. Those are powerful prayers. Those are grown prayers. Those are prayers that make room for revelation to become transformation. And that is exactly where I am taking you. Because the next things I show you will require a heart that is no longer bargaining with truth. So stand still. Open wider. Let the mask fall. Let the hidden thing come into light. I am not here to reject you when you are honest. I am here to meet you there, to heal you there, to strengthen you there, and to lead you into the kind of clarity that only becomes possible when you stop asking for answers from behind a wall. Tear the wall down. Let me in. Tell me the truth. And watch how quickly what once felt tangled begins to come into focus. My child, as you open your heart to honesty before me, understand that truth must also be carried into the world so others trapped in confusion can hear my voice. I am stirring many hearts through this message, but the river must keep flowing if the thirsty are to drink. When you choose to support this mission, through super thanks, membership, or a PayPal seed in the description, you are not simply giving money, you are sowing light into souls who are still walking in fog. I told you, those who sow generously will also reap generously, and I am speaking that promise over you even now. Your gift becomes oil in the lamp, keeping the flame of my word burning so more hearts can wake up and return to truth. If your spirit feels the nudge to help carry this message further, that is not coincidence. It is my invitation to partner with what I am doing. I see every seed, and I multiply what is placed in my hands with protection, provision, and favor over the giver. So if your heart is stirred, act now. Release your seed through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, and help my word reach the ones still searching for answers. My child, I want you to stay very near to me as we move into this, because after everything I have shown you so far, there is a danger that I need to address directly. When truth begins touching deeper places, when old patterns start becoming visible, when the hidden motives and attachments and blind spots are finally named, there is a temptation for your heart to turn revelation into accusation. There is a temptation for you to start hearing everything I am saying through the voice of shame instead of through the voice of a father. I need to stop that right now. I need you to hear me with clarity, because if you misunderstand my intention, you may close up at the very moment I am trying to bring you into your deepest healing. I am not exposing this to humiliate you. I am exposing it to heal you. I am not uncovering these things so you can feel smaller. I am uncovering them so you can stop living beneath what I made you to be. I am not bringing the hidden into light so you can stand there condemned and crushed. I am bringing it into light because what stays hidden keeps bleeding into every area of your life. It keeps shaping your choices. It keeps coloring your relationships. It keeps influencing your prayers. It keeps distorting your peace. It keeps making you think you are reacting to the present when, in truth, you are often responding from old pain, old fear, old agreements, old survival systems that no longer belong in the life I am building with you. That is why I am exposing it. Not to embarrass you, not to disgrace you, not to make you relive every failure with a heavy heart. I am exposing it because it has stayed in the dark long enough, and the dark has helped it survive. The dark has let it hide behind your habits, behind your personality, behind your excuses, behind your theology, behind your busyness, behind your good intentions. The dark has helped it whisper without being challenged. But light changes that. Light breaks secrecy. Light weakens what shame protects. Light gives you the chance to finally see what has been operating in your life without having to keep pretending it is not there. That is mercy, my child. It may not feel soft in the first moment, but it is still mercy. Think about an infection hidden beneath the skin. It can sit there quietly while the surface looks mostly intact. You may learn how to function around it. You may tell yourself it is manageable. You may even forget how much it affects you because the pain became familiar. But when the wound is finally opened and cleaned, it stings. It can feel raw. It can feel exposed. Yet that exposure is not cruelty. It is the beginning of healing. That is what I am doing with you. I am opening what you learned to cover. I am cleaning what you learned to manage. I am touching what you learned to live around. So do not interpret the sting as rejection. Do not assume that because it hurts, I must be punishing you. I am healing you. Stay with me. Do not pull away from the hand that is trying to restore you. Do not confuse conviction with condemnation. Conviction leads you toward freedom. Condemnation pushes you into hiding. I am not pushing you away. I am drawing you closer. I am saying, come here. Let me show you. Let me touch it. Let me clean it. Let me tell you the truth about it so it no longer gets to rule you in silence. That is love. Strong love. Clean love. Healing love. And I need you to receive it as such. Let your heart soften instead of hardening. Let your defenses lower instead of rising. Let the truth stay in the room long enough to do what it came to do. I want you to understand how shame works, because if you do not recognize it, it will try to hijack this entire moment. Shame will hear a revelation and immediately translate it into identity. I will show you a pattern, and shame will whisper, "This is who you are." I will expose a wound, and shame will say, "You are too damaged." I will highlight a compromise, and shame will say, "You always ruin everything." I will bring attention to what you allowed, and shame will try to turn that into self-hatred instead of responsibility. That is why I am speaking so plainly now. I do not want you partnering with shame while I am trying to partner with your healing. They are not the same. Shame wants you frozen. I want you free. Shame wants you hiding. I want you honest. Shame wants you looking inward with disgust. I want you looking inward with truth and compassion. Shame wants you to believe the revelation means you are disqualified. I want you to understand the revelation is the doorway to deeper alignment. This matters so much because some of you have spent years receiving conviction and then turning it into a private beating. You hear truth, and instead of moving toward repentance and healing, you spiral into self-accusation, regret, and a strange emotional paralysis where you feel terrible but nothing actually changes. That is not my work. Feeling awful is not the same as being transformed. Carrying self-contempt is not the same as being humble. Punishing yourself emotionally is not the same as repenting. I need you to stop mistaking shame for spiritual depth. I need you to stop calling self-condemnation taking responsibility. Real responsibility is clean. It is direct. Is honest. It says this was true. This affected me. I allowed it. I need healing. I need change. I surrender it. Then it moves with me toward freedom. Shame, on the other hand, loops. It circles. It keeps you staring at the mess until you forget there is a hand reaching in to lift you out. That is why I am interrupting it now. Refuse it. Reject it. When shame starts talking, answer it with truth. Say, this is being exposed because I am being healed. Say, this does not define me. It is being brought into the light. Say, I am responsible, but I am not rejected. Say, I can face this without becoming this. Those are strong statements. Those are healing statements. Those are the kind of truths that keep your heart open while the work gets deeper. And I want you to practice that now, because what I am doing in you requires courage, but it also requires tenderness. You cannot heal by becoming cruel to yourself. You cannot come closer to me by turning your inner world into a courtroom where every revelation becomes another sentence against you. I am not asking you to excuse what is real. I am asking you to see it accurately. There is a difference. Accuracy says, this pattern is harmful, and it must end. Shame says you are the problem, and you always will be. Accuracy says this wound needs attention. Shame says, you are too broken to be loved. Accuracy says, this attachment is blinding you. Shame says, you can never get free. Hear the difference. Learn the difference. Guard yourself against the wrong voice. Because if you let shame interpret my revelation, you will misread the entire season. You will think I am against you when I am actually fighting for you. You will think I am tearing you down when I'm actually removing what has been keeping you low. You will think I am exposing you to punish you when I am actually uncovering what must be healed so you can finally breathe again. So do not let shame narrate this. Keep your ear tuned to me. Stay close to my voice. I am the one leading you through this, and I will not lead you into truth only to abandon you in the middle of it. So now, my child, here is what I want you to do with this revelation. Do not collapse under it. Do not dramatize it into hopelessness. Do not turn it into a story about how much you have failed. Instead, receive it like medicine. Strong medicine, yes. Honest medicine, yes. Sometimes painful medicine, yes. But medicine all the same. When I show you something, thank me for the clarity. When I name a pattern, invite me to uproot it. When I expose an old agreement, break your partnership with it. When I highlight what you allowed, let it teach you instead of torment you. When grief comes, let it move through you, but do not build a home there. When regret surfaces, let it become wisdom, not self-hatred. When the ache of truth rises, stay open. Stay soft. Stay near. Say, heal this. Say, clean this. Say, I do not want to hide from what you are touching. Say, do not let me turn this into shame. Let me turn this into surrender. That is the posture I want from you. And I need you to understand how powerful that is. A heart that can face truth without collapsing into shame becomes very hard for the enemy to control. Why? Because so much of his strategy depends on either keeping you blind or keeping you ashamed. If you stay blind, the pattern survives. If you become ashamed, the pattern survives in hiding. But if you become honest and remain connected to me, the pattern begins to lose its place. That is what I want. I want honest connection. I want clean surrender. I want the kind of intimacy where you can say, "Here is the truth of me right now," and still stay in my presence without running. That kind of relationship heals you deeply. That kind of honesty changes you at the root. So let this be a turning point. Let this be the moment you stop assuming exposure means rejection. Let this be the moment you stop translating truth into humiliation. Let this be the moment you decide that if I bring something into the light, you will trust that I intend to heal what I reveal. Because I do. I always do. And as we keep moving, you are going to need that trust more and more. What I show you next will ask for courage, but it will also open the door to a kind of freedom you have been craving for longer than you know. So keep your heart open. Keep your hands open. Stay close. I am not exposing this to humiliate you. I am exposing it to heal you. My child, now that you understand I reveal truth to heal and not to shame, hear this also. The healing light you are receiving is meant to reach far beyond you. There are countless hearts still hidden in darkness, waiting for a voice that reminds them they are not condemned but called into restoration. When you support this message through super thanks, channel membership, or a PayPal offering in the video description, you are placing oil into the vessel that carries my healing word across nations and into wounded hearts. I have said, give, and it will be given back to you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over, and that promise still breathes today. Your generosity becomes seed in my field, and I turn faithful seeds into harvests of transformed lives. If you feel a quiet stirring inside you to help sustain this work, know that it is me inviting you into partnership with what I am restoring. I bless the hands that give, and I surround the giver with provision, protection, and multiplied grace. So do not delay. Honor the moment now through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, and help my healing light reach the souls still waiting. My child, I want you to listen carefully here, because this truth is tender, and it may explain why so much of what I have been doing feels unfamiliar even when it is good. I am teaching you to recognize peace before I ask you to protect it. That may sound simple at first, but it is not simple when you have spent years living in inner environments where peace was rare, inconsistent, misunderstood, or confused with something else. Many of you have not actually known peace in a stable, embodied way. You have known relief. You have known temporary calm after crisis. You have known the brief exhale after surviving something intense. You have known distraction that mimicked peace because it numbed you for a while. You have known emotional shutdown that felt quiet because you could not feel much. You have known control that felt safe because everything was managed tightly enough to keep fear from flaring. You have known approval that made you feel settled for a moment because people were pleased with you. But peace, the kind that is clean, deep, unforced, spiritually anchored, emotionally honest, and not dependent on chaos being absent, the kind of peace has often been unfamiliar to you. And because it has been unfamiliar, you have not always known how to recognize it when it arrives. Sometimes when real peace begins entering your life, you misread it as boredom. Sometimes you misread it as emptiness. Sometimes you misread it as a lack of chemistry. Sometimes you misread it as something being off because it does not activate the same old emotional intensity you became used to. Sometimes you feel the quiet of peace and your nervous system, trained by tension, interprets it as suspicious simply because it is not dramatic. That is why I am teaching you now. Before I ask you to guard peace, before I ask you to set stronger boundaries around it, before I ask you to build a life that protects it, I first have to help you recognize what it actually feels like. Otherwise, you will keep choosing intensity because it feels familiar, and you will keep overlooking peace because it feels too still. That is why the sacred silence matters. That is why the breaking of chains matters. That is why the exposure of false comforts matters. That is why the space after separation matters. I am recalibrating your inner senses. I am helping you feel the difference between numbness and peace, between shutdown and peace, between control and peace, between avoidance and peace, between emotional adrenaline and peace, between false harmony and peace. This is not small. This is foundational. Because if you cannot recognize peace, you cannot protect it. If you cannot tell what strengthens your spirit versus what merely stimulates your emotions, you will keep choosing what feels exciting over what is actually safe. If you cannot identify the internal texture of peace, you will keep thinking the right thing must always feel intense. It does not. Sometimes the right thing feels clean. Sometimes it feels quiet. Sometimes it feels unforced. Sometimes it feels almost too simple because it does not hook your wounds the way the old patterns did. That is why I need you to slow down and learn. Stop chasing what feels dramatic. Stop assuming that intensity means significance. Stop assuming that what disturbs you most is automatically what matters most. Learn peace. Sit with it. Notice it. Let your body feel it. Let your mind recognize it. Let your spirit settle into it. Because I am not only delivering you from chaos, I am teaching you how to know peace well enough that when something threatens it, you will no longer call that threat normal. I want you to understand how this learning happens, because I do not want you waiting for one big emotional moment and missing the quiet training I am already doing. I teach you peace in fragments before I ask you to build a life around it. I teach it in small moments of unexpected clarity after you say no to what drains you. I teach it in the lightness you feel when you stop over-explaining yourself to people who only understand the version of you that was easy to manipulate. I teach it in the clean stillness after you do not return the message that always pulls you back into confusion. I teach it in the relief that comes when you tell the truth instead of managing the image. I teach it in the breath your body takes when you step away from the pattern you thought you needed. I teach it in the subtle sense of inward order when your yes and your no finally align with what your spirit already knew. I teach it in the quiet after you stop rehearsing the same old argument in your mind. I teach it in the way your soul feels less crowded when you do not give your attention to what used to hijack it. These are not random moments. These are lessons. These are little revelations. These are glimpses of the atmosphere I am trying to make familiar to you. And I need you to stop dismissing them. Notice them. Pause when they happen. Ask, what is this? Ask, is this what peace feels like? Ask, what choice just created this cleaner space in me? That is how you learn. That is how peace stops being a concept and becomes a recognized environment. And once you begin recognizing it, something shifts in you. You become less willing to trade it for what is flashy. You become less tolerant of what disturbs it. You become less impressed by what demands a high emotional price. You begin noticing faster when someone's presence fractures it. You begin noticing faster when a habit clouds it. You begin noticing faster when an internal agreement threatens it. That is not you becoming rigid. That is you becoming aware. That is you becoming trained. That is you beginning to understand the value of what I am placing in you. Peace is not fragile in the way the world thinks, but it is precious. and precious things are not handled casually. That is why I am teaching you to recognize it first. Because if I handed you a treasure you did not know how to identify, you might leave it lying among things that would damage it. I do not want that. I want you to know it when it enters the room. I want you to feel the difference in your own spirit. I want you to notice how your body responds when something is aligned. I want you to learn how peace settles, how it steadies, how it clarifies, how it does not need to force itself to be real. So practice that now. When you feel clean clarity, stop and honor it. When you feel quiet strength, stop and honor it. When you feel the absence of inner scramble, stop and honor it. That is not nothing. That is the beginning of recognition. And now, my child, I need to tell you why this matters so much for what comes next. I am teaching you to recognize peace because very soon I will ask you to protect it with decisions that may feel costly at first. You will need to say no faster. You will need to leave certain conversations earlier. You will need to stop re-entering dynamics that keep your inner world agitated. You will need to hold boundaries without apologizing for them. You will need to refuse the temptation to trade peace for attention, for validation, for familiarity, for false comfort, for intensity, for the illusion of control, for the old role that made you feel needed. You will need to protect what I am growing in you. And you cannot protect what you still do not know how to recognize. That is why I have slowed you down. That is why I have exposed what disturbs you. That is why I have allowed the silence. That is why I have let the chain breaking feel so real. That is why I have been recalibrating your inner life. I am teaching you peace so you stop partnering with what steals it. I am teaching you peace so you stop explaining away the cost of misalignment. I am teaching you peace so you stop calling chaos passion, stop calling anxiety responsibility, stop calling numbness rest, stop calling control safety, stop calling people-pleasing love, stop calling endless mental noise wisdom. You need to know the difference now. So here is what I want from you. Become a student of peace. Pay attention to what strengthens it. Pay attention to what fractures it. Pay attention to what creates spaciousness in your spirit and what creates inward clutter. Pay attention to what lets you feel more honest, more grounded, more clear, more available to me. Then act accordingly. Protect it. Choose in favor of it. Stop betraying it to keep other people comfortable. Stop overriding it because you are afraid of what clarity will require. Stop dismissing it because it does not feel dramatic enough. Peace is not dull. Peace is not weakness. Peace is not passivity. Peace is one of the clearest indicators that something in you is finally coming back into right order. So honor it. Learn it. Let it become familiar. And when I ask you to defend it, through boundaries, through obedience, through release, through restraint, through saying no, through walking away, through refusing the old cycle, do not hesitate. You will know why it matters because you will know what it feels like. That is why I am teaching you this now. I am teaching you to recognize peace before I ask you to protect it. And if you receive that lesson well, the next part of this revelation will not only stir you, it will equip you to live differently. My child, come close now. Stay here with me for this final part. Do not rush past this ending as if it is simply the conclusion of a message. Let it become a moment between us. Let it settle into your spirit. Let it move through the places that have been stirred, exposed, challenged, and awakened. Because everything I have shown you in this revelation was never meant to frighten you. It was never meant to leave you anxious, suspicious, heavy, or spiritually overwhelmed. It was never meant to make you feel like the ground beneath you is collapsing with no purpose. It was never meant to push you into fear about what had been hidden, what has been breaking, what has been leaving, what hath been exposed, what has been named, what has been separated, what hath been pressured, what hath been clarified. And oh my child, this revelation was me calling you out of the fog and into your next season. That is what this has always been. Not destruction, not humiliation, not rejection, not punishment, not some cruel unveiling where I leave you trembling in confusion. This has been a rescue, a deep one, a holy one, a deliberate one. A rescue that required truth strong enough to interrupt what comfort had been protecting. A rescue that required light bright enough to reveal what had learned how to survive in shadows. A rescue that required pressure strong enough to stop the drift. A rescue that required enough clarity to make it impossible for you to keep calling chains by softer names. I know this message has touched you deeply. I know some parts have felt like I was reaching into places you have tried to keep covered for a long time. I know some of what I have said has made your heart ache because you recognized yourself in it. You recognized the distraction. You recognized the agreements. You recognized the survival self. You recognized the patterns you called just a struggle. You recognized the silence you kept fearing. You recognized the way you misseed pressure. You recognized the way you confused intensity with significance and forgot how to recognize peace. You recognized all of that because I have been speaking to what is real in you, not what is polished, not what is performative, not what looks spiritually correct on the outside. I have been speaking to the places that actually determine how you live. And I want you to hear me now with tenderness and strength at the same time. If I have shown you this much, it is because I am not leaving you where I found you. If I have exposed this much, it is because your next season cannot be entered carrying the old fog. If I have brought this much into the light, it is because what I am calling you into requires a cleaner spirit, a clearer mind, a truer yes, a more honest no, a deeper peace, a stronger boundary, a freer heart, and a life that is no longer organized around what once kept you in survival. This is why I needed your attention. This is why I needed your honesty. This is why I would not let you stay comfortable with vague language and half-light and emotional compromise. I am bringing you into something more solid. I am bringing you into a season where clarity matters. I am bringing you into a season where what you tolerate matters. I am bringing you into a season where what you protect matters. I am bringing you into a season where peace must be recognized, where alignment must be chosen, where old agreements must stay broken, where the silence must stay sacred, where the survival self must not be given the throne again, where your discernment must stay awake, where your attention must stay guarded, where your inner life must no longer be available to every demand, every fear, every old craving, every familiar distortion. So do not reduce this revelation to a powerful emotional experience. Do not let it become one more message that moved you for a moment and then got filed away while your old patterns quietly returned. No. Take it personally. Take it seriously. Take it into prayer. Take it into your choices. Take it into your habits. Take it into your boundaries. Take it into the way you answer, the way you delay, the way you reach, the way you stop reaching, the way you sit in silence, the way you respond when pressure rises, the way you name what is real, the way you refuse what no longer belongs. This revelation is not complete when you finish hearing it. It becomes complete when you begin living from it. And I need you to understand something else before we close, because this part will protect your heart when the days ahead test what you have heard. The enemy will try to make you forget the clarity once the emotion settles. He will try to convince you that what felt obvious in the light was not really that serious. He will try to make the old thing look softer. He will try to make the old pattern look manageable. He will try to make the old relationship look less costly. You will try to make the old coping mechanism look harmless. You will try to make the old identity feel necessary again. You will whisper, maybe you were overreacting. You will whisper, maybe it was not that deep. You will whisper, maybe you can handle it now. You will whisper, maybe you can revisit it without the same consequences. I am telling you this now so you are not surprised later. Expect the counterattack. Expect the fog to try to roll back in. Expect nostalgia to try to rename what I exposed. Expect loneliness to try to reframe what I separated. Expect discomfort to try to convince you that familiar chains were actually comfort. Expect the survival self to make one more argument for why it should stay in charge. But when that happens, do not panic. Do not act shocked. Do not assume the clarity was false just because resistance appeared. Resistance often comes precisely because the clarity was real. So prepare yourself now. Build around the revelation. Write down what I showed you. Name the patterns in plain language. List the things that cost you peace. Record the lies I exposed. Mark the agreements you broke. Remember what the silence taught you. Remember what the pressure revealed. Remember what the chain breaking sounded like. Remember how peace felt when it finally became recognizable. Do not trust your future self to remember clearly if you do not honor the clarity now. Capture it. Guard it. Return to it. And then make practical moves that support what I have shown you. Remove access where access keeps harming you. Strengthen the boundary before you are emotionally tired. Decide now what you will not revisit. Decide now what language you will no longer use to soften what I have made plain. Decide now what you will do when the old urge rises. Decide now who you will become when the familiar pattern tries to reintroduce itself. This is how you honor revelation. Not by admiring it, by organizing your life around it. And I want more commands from you in this season, not less. Command your attention to return to me. Command your thoughts to come under truth. Command your hands to let go when the old thing calls. Command your feet to walk away sooner. Command your mouth to speak plainly. Command your habits to align with what I showed you. Invite me into the exact moment of temptation, not just the aftermath. Invite me into the silence before you fill it. Invite me into the pressure before you interpret it through fear. Invite me into the ache before you medicate it with the familiar. Invite me into the decision before you repeat the cycle. Do that, my child. Practice that. Build that. That is how this revelation becomes not just something you heard, but something that reshapes you. So now, at the end of this message, I want you to do something very simple and very strong. Do not just nod. Do not just feel moved. Stop. Sit with me. Right now, in your heart, say, I receive the truth you showed me. Then say, I will not go back into the fog. Say, I will not keep protecting what you exposed. Say, I will not keep calling chains by softer names. Say, teach me to guard what you are restoring in me. Say, teach me to recognize peace and protect it. Say, teach me to let the old version of me step down. Say, teach me to stay honest when pressure rises. Say, teach me to honor the sacred silence. Say, teach me to walk like someone who has truly been shown something. These are not grammatic lines. These are directional lines. These are the kind of words that align your spirit with what I am doing. And hear me, my child, as clearly as you can in this final moment. You are not leaving this message abandoned, accused, or uncertain. You are leaving it seen. You are leaving it warned. You are leaving it sharpened. You are leaving it loved. You are leaving it with light in places that used to be foggy. You are leaving it with names for things that used to control you silently. You are leaving it with discernment where you once had confusion. You are leaving it with truth where you once had softer lies. You are leaving it with a clearer sense of what must stay behind. You are leaving it with a cleaner awareness of what must be protected. And most of all, you are leaving it with me still right here. I am not sending you into the next season alone. I am not saying, now that I exposed everything, go figure it out. No. I am saying, walk with me now in a different way. Walk with me awake. Walk with me honest. Walk with me surrendered. Walk with me alert. Walk with me lighter. Walk with me less available to what once ruled you. Walk with me more protective of what I am restoring. Walk with me like someone who knows the fog has lifted and has no intention of stepping back into it. Because this revelation was never meant to frighten you. It was me calling you out of the fog and into your next season. So come. Step forward. Leave the old agreement behind. Leave the old chain behind. Leave the old blindness behind. Leave the old version of you behind. Come into the clear place. Come into the clear place. Come into the quieter place. Come into the stronger place. Come into the season I have been preparing for you. I am here. I am leading. And now you can see. My child, now that the fog has lifted and you can see more clearly, understand that this revelation was never meant to stop with you. I am raising voices and messages that awaken those still wandering in confusion, and this mission moves forward when willing hearts help carry the flame. When you support this work through Super Thanks, becoming a member, or sending a seed through the PayPal link in the description, you are helping my word travel like fire across dry ground, igniting truth where silence once ruled. Remember what I declared: as long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest will never cease, and every seed given for my purpose returns with increase. Your generosity becomes bread for the hungry spirit and light for those still trapped in darkness. If your heart senses urgency right now, it is because I am inviting you into the harvest I am gathering. I see every act of faith, and I release favor, provision, and protection over those who give with obedience. So step forward now. Send your support through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, and help carry this revelation to the souls I am calling into their next season. And as you respond to that invitation, remember that every act of obedience draws you deeper into my purpose. Your generosity is not the end of this encounter, it is simply another way of saying yes to the work I am doing in your own heart and in the lives of others. But before you move on, stay with me for a little longer. Quiet the distractions around you and listen with the same openness that brought you here. There is a reason I gathered you into this moment, and there is something I do not want you to miss. I am about to reveal what many can sense but cannot yet understand. Do not let your attention wander now, because what I am about to say will help you recognize the season you are living in and the call I have placed upon your life. My child, listen to me right now. I am speaking directly to your heart. Do you feel that sudden shift in the air around you? I am blowing the heavenly shofar, the great trumpet of my spirit, across the nations. You might not hear a loud noise with your physical ears, but I know your soul feels the deep vibration. You feel a stirring inside your chest, a quiet urgency that you cannot fully explain. I am shifting the spiritual atmosphere of this entire world, and I am starting right where you are standing. I see the heavy burdens you carry every single day. I see the intense pressure at your job that makes you want to give up and walk away. I see the unspoken tensions in your family that keep you awake in the middle of the night. I see your silent fear of the future, the tight, painful knot in your stomach when you think about tomorrow. That knot is not from me. Hand it over to me. Let us untie it together today. Stop running for just a moment. Breathe in my presence. I command you to pause and focus your mind entirely on my voice. You live in a very loud, busy, and noisy world. Everyone is shouting for your attention. The screens, the daily demands, the endless worries, they all try to drown out my living truth. But I am calling you to recognize the pure, clean frequency of heaven. My voice is the steady, calm whisper underneath all that worldly chaos. Turn away from the noise. Tune your heart to my frequency. When you listen to me, the confusion completely melts away. I am bringing a great shaking to the earth, and I know it feels terrifying when everything around you seems unstable and broken. But listen closely to my promise to you. This shaking is actually an act of my deep, divine mercy. I am shaking everything that can be shaken so that only the solid, unshakable things remain in your life. I am actively breaking down the false systems and the weak foundations you used to rely on. I do this so you can finally build your life on my solid rock. I love you far too much to let you build your future on sinking sand. Wake up, my beloved one. I invite you to open your eyes and step out of your spiritual slumber immediately. You have been walking through your days like a sleepwalker, just trying to survive from one week to the next. I have so much more for you than just basic survival. I am commanding you to truly live. Shake off the heavy dust of your past disappointments. Stand up tall and let my warm light pour over your weary shoulders. I need you fully awake, alert, and ready for what is coming. Prepare the inner sanctuary of your heart for my glorious presence. Clear out the clutter of old hurts, bitter feelings, and angry thoughts that drain your energy. Make wide room for me. I want to dwell deeply inside you, filling every empty space with my perfect, calming peace. Invite me into the dark, hidden corners of your mind. Let me sweep away the shadows that scare you. You must understand the immense significance of this exact moment. You hearing these very words today is not a random accident. I planned this divine connection before the foundations of the earth were laid. The timing of this sudden revelation is absolutely critical for your life right now. I am moving rapidly across the earth, and I want you moving safely with me. Do not look back at the things you are losing. Look forward to the incredible gifts I am handing to you. I promise to hold your hand firmly through the shaking. I promise to keep you entirely safe when the ground trembles beneath your feet. You are completely safe in my strong arms. You are heavily protected by my mighty hand. Say yes to my call today. Surrender your deepest fears to me right now. Step forward into this new day with your head held high, knowing that I, the creator of the universe, am fighting your hardest battles. Get ready, my precious child. The trumpet is sounding, and your greatest chapter is about to begin. My precious child, look at me right now. I am looking past the smile you force on your face when you walk out your front door. I see the deep exhaustion hidden in your eyes. You have spent so much of your life wearing a heavy mask, pretending you have everything perfectly together. You put on a brave face for your family, your coworkers, and even for your friends at church. You carry the heavy burden of trying to look strong when, inside, you feel entirely broken. Take off that mask right now. You do not need to hide from me. I am pulling back the dark veils of deception that have kept you trapped in a cycle of performing for love. For too long, you have believed the subtle lie that your worth is based on how much you produce, how well you behave, or how others perceive you. I command you to drop that heavy burden today. I never asked you to carry the weight of perfection. Listen closely to my voice. There is a massive difference between the cold rules of religious tradition and the warm, breathing reality of my living truth. Religion tells you to clean yourself up before you can approach my throne. My truth tells you to come to me in your mess, and I will be the one to wash you clean. I am exposing the lies that have quietly stolen your joy. You feel the constant pressure to earn my approval. That pressure is a lie from the enemy. I loved you before you took your first breath, and there is nothing you can do to make me love you more or love you less. I am giving you new eyes today. I want you to see yourself and this world through my kingdom lens. When you look through my eyes, the terrifying giants in your life suddenly look like small shadows. The impossible obstacles become simple stepping stones. Allow the worldly labels to fall off your shoulders. People have called you not enough, too much, broken, or forgotten. I'm peeling away those false identities right now. I call you chosen, redeemed, powerful, and mine. This profound clarity does not come from scrolling through endless opinions on your phone or watching the daily news. This pure clarity only comes when you sit with me in the quiet, secret place. Close your bedroom door. Turn off the glowing screens. Sit in the stillness with me. When you seek my face in secret, I promise to reward you openly. My word is a sharp sword, and I am using it right now to pierce through the dark clouds of confusion in your mind. I am cutting away the negative thoughts that tell you your future is ruin. Let my truth wash over your mind like cool, clean water. Step out of the shadows of deception. Walk in the brilliant, unclouded light of my genuine love. You are free to be exactly who I created you to be. My beloved one, I feel the sharp pain in your heart. I know you are grieving the things, the people, or the opportunities you have recently lost. You are sitting there asking me, why did this happen? Why did you let this relationship end? Why did that door close in my face? Listen to me very carefully. I am the master gardener, and you are my precious vine. What you are experiencing right now is not a punishment. It is a pruning. I am deliberately cutting away the dead branches in your life because I love you deeply. I am removing the things that are draining your energy, but producing absolutely no good fruit. You see that connection you are crying over. You have been trying to force it to work, pouring all your heart into a dead situation. I command you to let it go. Drop it from your hands. I cut it away to save your life. Understand the necessity of the cut. A vine cannot grow thick, green, and heavy with grapes if it is wasting its sap on dying wood. I see your frustration when things do not go according to your personal plan. But my plan for your life is so much larger than your temporary comfort. I am making painful but necessary cuts to your schedule, your habits, and your social circles to ensure your future growth. If I leave you exactly as you are, you will never step into the immense destiny I have written for you. Do not fight my pruning shears. Surrender to my loving hands. The cut stings for a moment, just like a deep breath before a difficult plunge, but the healing brings incredible power. Let go of the old attachments that hinder your daily walk with me. You are holding tightly to old grudges, past failures, and comfortable routines because they feel safe. But safe is not what you were created for. You were created for abundance. The true beauty of a life fully surrendered to me is the peace that follows the pruning. When you finally stop fighting me and say, "Take it, Lord," a heavy weight completely lifts off your chest. You feel that relief. That is my peace entering your open wounds. I want you to understand today that every single cut is a profound sign of my great love for you. I refuse to let you remain stagnant. I refuse to let you settle for less than my best. The season of painful cutting is almost over. I am preparing your life for a season of unprecedented, overwhelming spiritual abundance. where there was once a bare, bleeding branch, a massive harvest of joy, peace, and prosperity is about to bloom. Trust my hands. The pain of the pruning is nothing compared to the glory of your coming harvest. My child, do not panic when the ground beneath your feet begins to shake violently. I see you checking your bank account with a trembling heart. I see you watching the news, feeling your chest tighten with anxiety about the economy, the political unrest, and the sickness in the world. You feel like everything you thought was secure is suddenly crumbling into dust. Listen to my firm voice right now. I am your only true stability. I am the rock that cannot be moved, cannot be shaken, and cannot be destroyed. The systems of man are failing exactly as I said they would. The jobs, the banks, the governments, they are built on fragile human promises. I am allowing these man-made structures to shake so you will stop putting your absolute trust in them. I am calling you to build your entire house on me. Breathe deeply. Let the tension drop from your jaw and your shoulders. I command the storm of panic in your mind to be still. I am offering you perfect peace while the entire world around you is spinning in chaos. You do not have to participate in the fear that is paralyzing your neighbors. You do not have to agree with the loud voices of defeat. You have a secret place of refuge, and that place is directly under my mighty wings. When the financial reports scream lack, my promise to you whispers complete provision. When the world shouts disease, my hand offers divine healing. I am sovereign over every single detail of your life. Trust my absolute control when your daily reality feels entirely out of control. I know it is hard to trust when you cannot see the next step on the staircase. You are worried about how you will pay that upcoming bill, or how you will fix that broken situation in your home. Stop trying to figure it out with your limited human logic. Bring your chaotic mess to my throne. Hide yourself in the secret place of the Most High. The noise of the world cannot penetrate my protective walls. The unshakable nature of my promises guarantees that you will survive this earthquake. In fact, you will not just survive it. You will stand tall and victorious on top of the rubble. The economy of heaven never experiences inflation, bankruptcy, or failure. Anchor your soul to my eternal word today. Let the earth shake, let the mountains fall into the sea, but you will stand completely secure. I am holding you up, and I promise I will never let you fall. My beloved, I know the heat in your life feels unbearable right now. You are walking through a fiery furnace of intense pressure. You keep facing the same difficult tests, the same frustrating temptations, and the same irritating people. You feel like you are being stretched completely beyond your natural limits. Do not run away from this heat. I am purposely turning up the temperature in your life to purify your character. You have prayed and asked me to make you stronger, wiser, and more like me. This fire is the direct answer to your prayer. I am burning away the dross, the selfish habits, the quick temper, the secret addictions, and the bitter attitudes that have held you back for years. Watch the impurities of your flesh burn away in my holy presence. I know you hate the feeling of being corrected. It is uncomfortable to have your hidden flaws exposed to the light. But I do not expose your flaws to humiliate you. I expose them to completely heal you. I command you to stand still in the fire. Do not try to escape the very process that is forging your greatest strength. I am carefully watching the thermometer. I will not let the flames destroy you. The fire is only destroying the chains that are wrapped tightly around your wrists. When you walk out of this season, you will emerge as pure, solid gold that has been tried and tested in the greatest furnace. I am challenging your comfortable Christianity today. For too long, you have been satisfied with sitting in a comfortable chair, listening to pleasant messages, but never truly changing your daily behavior. I am calling you completely out of the lukewarm water. I invite you to walk in a much higher level of dedication and consecration. I need warriors who are fully committed to my kingdom, not just casual observers. Hand over your secret sins. Lay down your favorite excuses. There is an incredible, unshakable joy found in becoming a vessel fit for my highest use. When you let my holy fire cleanse your mind and your heart, you will operate with a power and authority you have never known before. Embrace the heat, my child. The fire is not your enemy. It is the ultimate tool of your transformation. You are becoming a radiant masterpiece in my hands. My child, do not walk away from me now. We have only just begun to break the heavy chains holding you down. It would deeply grieve my heart to see you turn off this message and walk right back into the cold darkness just when my refining fire is making you strong. Please stay with me. Listen closely to the next words I have for you, because your absolute breakthrough depends on your willingness to stay in my presence. Do not let the enemy convince you to stop listening. Keep your eyes on me. My precious child, remember that dream you buried in the dirt many years ago. Remember the deep promise I whispered into your spirit when you were younger. The one you finally gave up on because it took too long to happen. You looked at your current age. You looked at your bank account. You looked at your past failures, and you told yourself, it is simply too late for me. I'm telling you today, you are entirely wrong. It is never too late for me. I am breathing warm, reviving life into the dormant seeds inside your heart right now. I placed those specific dreams inside you before time even began. They were not silly wishes. They were divine blueprints. And just because a seed is buried in the dark, cold ground does not mean it is dead. It means it is preparing to grow. I have watched you water that hard ground with the bitter tears of your intercession. I have collected every single tear you cried in the middle of the night when you felt completely forgotten. Those tears were not wasted. They were heavily soaking the soil of your destiny. Get ready, because you are about to witness the sudden, explosive germination of long-awaited spiritual promises. Things that you thought would take 10 more years to accomplish are going to sprout up overnight. I am shifting you out of this long, exhausting season of waiting and pushing you directly into a powerful season of birth. I command you to break through the hard, crusty ground of your past disappointments. Stop rehearsing your failures. Stop telling the story of how you were rejected or ignored. That is old news. I am doing a brand new thing in your life today. I am bringing supernatural acceleration to your divine calling. The doors that were slammed shut in your face are about to be ripped entirely off their hinges. I am aligning the right people, the exact resources, and the perfect opportunities to cross your path this very week. Shake off the heavy spirit of delay. Stand up, brush the dirt off your knees, and prepare your hands to receive the harvest. The winter is over. The warm spring of my favor has arrived. Your buried dreams are waking up, and they are going to bear fruit that will completely shock everyone around you. Listen to me. Your greatest days are not behind you. They are standing right in front of you. Step into them now. My child, look down at your own hands right now. You have been walking through your life feeling completely empty-handed, defenseless, and weak. You walk into your workplace and feel intimidated by the harsh words of your boss. You walk into your living room and feel overwhelmed by the heavy, angry atmosphere hanging over your family. You have accepted defeat as your normal reality. I command you to open your eyes and see the truth. I am handing you back the heavy, iron keys of spiritual authority today. I never created you to be a victim of your circumstances. I created you to be a co-heir with my Son, holding massive power over the darkness. You have forgotten who you are, but I have not forgotten. I am restoring your divine authority this very minute. Reach out and take the keys I am offering you. Stop trying to fix your impossible problems with your limited human strength. You are exhausting yourself trying to argue with people, trying to manipulate situations, and trying to force doors to open. Your human strength is entirely useless against the spiritual strongholds attacking your home. I invite you to step into the massive, rushing river of my Holy Spirit. When you operate in my Spirit, you do not have to shout to be heard. You do not have to fight with your fists. Your quiet whisper, backed by my heavenly power, is enough to shatter the thickest concrete walls. I am giving you the mandate to speak pure, blinding light into the darkest corners of your life. When the shadow of depression tries to creep into your bedroom at night, I command you to speak out loud. Open your mouth and declare my word over your mind. Your voice carries my authority. You must deeply understand your new identity today. You are not a beggar hoping for a small crumb of peace. You are a royal child of the Most High God, seated at the largest table in my kingdom. The demonic strongholds that have tormented your family for generations are terrified of you. They want you to stay quiet. They want you to stay depressed and hidden under your blankets. I command you to rise up and displace them. Use your voice to decree my promises over your children, your finances, and your health. When you speak my words in faith, you release an army of angels to fight on your behalf. Shift your entire mindset right now. You are no longer fighting for victory. You are fighting from a place of absolute, finished victory. I have already won the final war. I defeated the darkness permanently on the cross. Your job is simply to enforce my victory in your everyday life. Stand tall, square your shoulders, and walk into your day with the quiet, unshakable confidence of a true conqueror. My beloved one, pay close attention to the people and the environments surrounding you. You have been feeling a deep, uncomfortable friction in your spirit lately. You sit in certain rooms or even in certain church buildings, and you feel completely empty. You see people going through the motions of religion, speaking spiritual words, but living lives completely devoid of my love and power. I am telling you today that your spiritual discernment is absolutely correct. I am opening your eyes to see the genuine separation happening on the earth right now. I am walking through my field, and I am clearly separating the true wheat from the toxic weeds. I am marking my true remnant, and I am setting you completely apart for my holy purpose. Do not be afraid of this deep separation. I know it hurts when longtime friends suddenly walk away, or when you no longer fit in with the crowd you used to love. You feel lonely, and you wonder if you are doing something wrong. I command you to stop doubting yourself. I am actively removing you from toxic environments because you cannot grow in poisoned soil. The danger of comfortable, powerless religion is very real. It lulls you to sleep while your house is burning down. I am calling you away from the wide, crowded road of compromise. I invite you to choose the narrow, rocky path that leads to true, eternal life. Yes, the narrow path is much harder to walk. Yes, you will lose some companions along the way, but the destination is worth every single tear you shed. You must walk with absolute integrity in these final hours. I see what you do when no one else is watching. I see the websites you visit, the hidden habits you nurse, and the secret words you speak when you are angry. I am calling you to wash your hands and purify your heart. To stand in my holy assembly, you must completely drop your compromises. You cannot hold my hand while you are still holding the hand of the world. I am creating a visible, undeniable distinction between those who truly serve me and those who only pretend. People at your job will look at you and see something completely different. They will see a calm peace that makes absolutely no logical sense. They will see a radical love that shocks them. Embrace your calling to be different. You are not meant to blend in with the fading background of this broken world. You are meant to shine like a brilliant, burning torch in the midnight darkness. My precious child, I feel your heart racing right now. I know exactly what happens to you when the sun goes down. I see you staring at the ceiling at 2 in the morning, your mind spinning with terrible what-if scenarios. You are terrified of failing. You are terrified of losing your job, terrified of getting sick, and terrified that your children will make the wrong choices. This heavy, suffocating blanket of fear is the greatest enemy of the beautiful future I have planned for you. Fear paralyzes your feet and silences your voice. I did not give you a spirit of fear. I command that dark, heavy spirit to completely release its grip on your mind right now. Breathe out the panic. Breathe in my perfect, calming peace. I am taking away your heavy, wet garment of anxiety, and I am wrapping you in a warm, vibrant garment of praise. When the panic starts to rise in your chest, I invite you to open your mouth and begin to thank me. Praise is your ultimate weapon against the crushing weight of depression. Do you hear that loud, thunderous sound in the spirit realm? That is the roar of the Lion of Judah, and he is roaring directly over your anxieties. I am standing fiercely in front of you, roaring at the enemies that are trying to steal your joy. My perfect love for you is violently casting out every single shadow of dread in your house. You are completely enveloped in my love. Nothing can touch your soul without my explicit permission. Look at the massive giants standing in your path. Look at the mountain of debt, the scary medical report, or the broken marriage. They look incredibly tall and intimidating. But I command you to stand bold and courageous. You are not fighting these giants alone. I am standing right beside you, and compared to me, your giants are nothing but tiny specks of dust. I am handing you the heavy, golden shield of faith today. Lift it up over your head. When the enemy shoots fiery darts of doubt and panic at your mind, your shield will completely extinguish them. You do not have to live your life constantly waiting for the next bad thing to happen. You do not have to flinch at every loud noise. Walk out of your front door today with your head held high, completely fearless, knowing that the Creator of the universe is your personal bodyguard. My child, stop violently banging your fists against that locked, wooden door. I see you crying in the hallway of your life, completely exhausted because the opportunity you wanted so desperately was just given to someone else. You feel rejected, overlooked, and entirely forgotten. Listen to my gentle voice right now. I locked that specific door on purpose. I locked it to protect you from a room you were never meant to enter. If you had walked through that door, it would have destroyed the calling on your life. Turn around and look down the hallway. I am creating brand new opportunities in the spirit realm that you cannot even imagine yet. I am opening massive, iron doors for you that absolutely no human being can ever shut. You must use your eyes of faith to see what I am doing behind the scenes. The promotion, the relationship, or the breakthrough you have been begging for is being perfectly prepared for you right now. But you must be willing to step into the complete unknown. I invite you to leave the comfortable safety of the shallow shore. You have been splashing in the ankle-deep water because it feels safe and predictable. I am calling you out into the deep, dark waters of radical faith. Yes, the deep water feels scary. You cannot touch the bottom anymore. You have to rely entirely on me to keep you afloat. But the deep water is where the miraculous catch of fish is waiting for you. It is where you will experience my power in a way that will completely change your life forever. I am sovereignly arranging divine alignments for you this very week. You are going to meet people by accident who hold the exact missing puzzle pieces to your destiny. You will have random conversations that will suddenly unlock years of stuck progress. But you must pay close attention. The urgency of this hour requires you to move immediately when my spirit gives you the green signal. Do not hesitate. Do not ask for 10 more opinions from your friends. When you feel that sudden, undeniable push in your spirit, I command you to walk boldly through the open door. Leave your hesitation behind you. The unknown is not empty. It is entirely filled with my glorious presence and my perfect provision for your future. Step forward and watch the impossible unfold before your very eyes. As you bravely step through the massive open doors I have placed before you, I am calling you to hold those doors wide open for millions who are still trapped in the terrifying dark. This shaking revelation was never meant to stop with you. It is a mighty, rushing river meant to flow directly through your hands to rescue starving souls. I fiercely invite you to partner with my divine mission today by supporting this vessel through a super thanks, a channel membership, or the PayPal link found in the description below. Every single seed you sow into this fertile soil becomes a blazing torch that pierces the heavy dissection of this lost generation. Just as I promised in my word, when you generously refresh others, I will completely refresh you, violently multiplying your finances and shielding your home from the coming storm. The absolute urgency of this hour demands action, for the global harvest is completely ripe, but the true laborers are few. Give right now with a bold and joyful heart, and watch how I open the very windows of heaven to pour an uncontainable miracle over your life. My beloved, I am pleading with you, do not close your ears to my voice right now. I have carefully prepared massive, open doors for your future, and it shatters my heart to think you might stop listening and walk away before I show you exactly how to walk through them. If you leave now, you are leaving your incredible miracle behind. I need you to stay completely focused. I have so much more to reveal to you. Stay right here with me, and let us finish what we have started together. My beloved, your view is entirely blocked by the thick mud on the ground. You are staring so closely at your current problems that they look like massive, impassable mountains. You are entirely focused on the pain of today, the unfairness of your situation, and the bitter taste of your recent betrayal. I invite you to come up higher. I am lifting you out of the muddy valley today. I want you to sit with me on my heavenly throne and look down at your life from my glorious vantage point. When you look at your struggles from heaven's perspective, everything instantly changes. You will suddenly realize that your earthly suffering, though it feels incredibly heavy right now, is only temporary. It is a brief, passing shadow compared to the massive, eternal glory I am building inside of you. I command you to completely shift your mindset today. You have been walking around with the slumped shoulders of a victim. You constantly ask me, why is this happening to me? Why is my life so much harder than everyone else's? I am telling you to drop that victim mentality permanently. You are not a helpless victim of a cruel world. You are a victorious warrior being trained for a massive kingdom assignment. I see the end of your story directly from the very beginning. I know exactly how this dark chapter concludes, and I promise you, it ends in your absolute triumph. Your current trial is not a punishment. It is your intensive preparation. Stop trying to figure me out using your limited human logic. My wisdom completely transcends your earthly reasoning. When I tell you to forgive the person who ruined your life, it makes no logical sense to your mind. When I tell you to give away your last dollar, it sounds foolish to the world. But my ways are infinitely higher than your ways. When you finally surrender your need to understand everything, a profound, heavy peace will wash over your entire body. I am in absolute, unquestionable control of the universe, and I am in absolute control of your specific life. You do not have to manage the universe today. You only have to hold my hand and trust my heart. Let go of your endless questions. Rest your tired mind. Look at your life through my eyes, and you will see a brilliant, beautiful masterpiece actively coming together. My child, I see how completely exhausted you are. You are running on fumes, trying to give water to others from an entirely empty cup. You wake up rushing. You spend your day putting out fires, and you collapse into bed feeling completely drained and defeated. I command you to stop this endless, punishing cycle today. I am calling you back to the quiet, intimate power of the secret place. You have forgotten the simple joy of our first love. I remember when you used to just sit with me, not asking for 100 different things, but simply enjoying my presence. I invite you to return to that quiet space right now. Close the heavy door on the noisy street of your life. Turn off your phone. Shut down the glowing screens. I want to meet with you in the absolute stillness. Here is a deep, profound strength found only in silence and solitude with me. When you are constantly surrounded by the loud noise of the world, you cannot hear the gentle, strategic whispers of my spirit. I have specific instructions for your tomorrow, but you must get quiet enough to hear them today. In the quiet hours of the night, when the house is completely dark and still, my deep spirit is calling directly to the deep places within you. Do you feel that gentle pull on your heart when you suddenly wake up at 3 in the morning? That is not insomnia. That is my personal invitation. I want to spend time with you. I want to reveal the specific strategies you need for the coming days. You are trying to figure out how to handle a difficult person at work, or how to manage a sudden crisis in your family. I hold the exact blueprint you need. But I do not shout my greatest secrets over the loud noise of your television. I whisper them in the secret place. I have hidden manna, fresh daily bread, reserved exclusively for those who seek me early and seek me earnestly. You must begin to aggressively protect your time with me as your single most precious asset. Do not give me the leftover, exhausted scraps of your day. I command you to make me your absolute priority. When you prioritize my presence, I will supernaturally multiply the rest of your time. You will accomplish more in 1 hour of my directed peace than you could in 10 hours of your frantic, panicked striving. I am offering you a place of ultimate refuge. I am your safe harbor in the middle of a raging hurricane. Come into the secret place. Sit at my feet. Let me wash away the dirt and the heavy stress of this world. Let me refill your empty cup until it overflows with fresh, living water. I promise you, the answers you are desperately searching for are waiting for you right now in the quietness of my presence. You are carrying heavy burdens you were never designed to hold. I want to lift them completely off your shoulders, but you have to sit still long enough for me to untie the tight knots. Make the firm commitment today. Carve out the time. I am waiting for you there, eager to wrap you in my infinite love and supply you with unmatched power for the long journey ahead. My beloved one, I know exactly what you feel when you look at your bank account. I see the tight knot in your stomach when the unexpected bills arrive in the mail. I see you calculating numbers late into the night, trying to figure out how to stretch your completely exhausted resources. You are terrified of lacking what you need. You are worried about the rising cost of groceries, the sudden medical expenses, and the crushing weight of debt pressing down on your chest. I command you to hand those specific financial fears over to me right now. I am breaking the heavy, suffocating cycle of lack in your life through your radical obedience. You have been trusting the fragile, unpredictable economy of man. I invite you to entirely shift your trust to the unshakable economy of my kingdom. I am your ultimate source. Your job is simply a channel, but I am the infinite, flowing river. If one channel suddenly dries up, I can instantly open 10 more without warning. I am declaring a supernatural transfer of resources for the sake of my gospel, and I want you perfectly positioned to receive it. But you must align your heart with my financial principles. I command you to trust me with your finances before you trust your own human logic. When things get tight, your natural human instinct is to hoard everything, to hold your hands tightly closed out of pure, blinding fear. I am telling you to do the exact opposite. I invite you to open your hands completely. The blessing that immediately follows the faithful tithe and the generous offering is completely undeniable. When you give even when it hurts, you are loudly declaring to the spiritual realm that fear does not control you. You are proving that I am your absolute master, not money. I promise you supernatural multiplication even in times of global famine. When the world around you is screaming about recession and loss, my kingdom operates on a completely different set of rules. Think about the small boy with just a few loaves of bread and 2 fish. In the hands of a fearful world, it was barely enough for 1 child. But in my hands, it fed thousands with baskets left over. I can take your small, seemingly insignificant resources and multiply them beyond your wildest imagination. I will provide for your family. I will make sure you have exactly what you need exactly when you need it. But I do not just want to bless you for your own comfort. I am calling you to be a massive, flowing conduit for my blessings to reach a broken, hungry world. I want to pour wealth into your hands so it can flow right through your fingers to the orphan, the widow, and the poor. Change your entire perspective on money today. See it as a holy tool for my glory. Trust me completely as your provider, and watch how I open the very windows of heaven to pour out a blessing so large you will not have enough room to store it. My precious child, let me look closely at your hidden scars. I know you work very hard to hide your deep pain from everyone else. You force a bright smile and tell people you are fine, but I see the deep, bleeding wounds inside your soul. I see the painful memory of the friend who betrayed your trust. I see the cruel, sharp words spoken to you by someone who was supposed to love and protect you. I see the childhood trauma that still casts a long, dark shadow over your adult life. You have carried this heavy, exhausting baggage for years, secretly believing that you are permanently damaged. I am telling you today that you are not ruined. I command you to bring every single broken piece of your heart to me right now. I am generously applying the soothing, healing balm of Gilead directly to your most sensitive emotional injuries. I know exactly what I am about to ask you feels entirely impossible. I command you to completely forgive the people who have caused you this profound pain. I am not asking you to excuse their terrible behavior. I am not saying that what they did to you was right or fair. I am demanding that you forgive them so that you can finally be free. When you hold on to sharp bitterness, you are drinking deadly poison and hoping the other person dies. Release them from your internal prison right now. Drop the heavy stones of resentment you have been carrying in your tight fists. When you finally say, "I forgive them, Lord," you instantly cut the thick iron chains that tie you to your painful past. I will step in the exact moment you let go. I promise you complete and total restoration of your soul. I do not just put a temporary bandage over your pain. I perform deep spiritual surgery to heal the very root of your trauma. I am incredibly gentle with your brokenness. In fact, I will use your deepest wounds to display my greatest, most spectacular glory. The areas where you have been broken the most will become the exact places where my light shines the absolute brightest. People will look at your life and see a walking, breathing miracle. They will know that only the creator of the universe could take such shattered glass and turn it into a beautiful stained glass window. The long, dark season of your intense mourning is officially coming to an end. The bright, warm morning of your joy has arrived. I invite you to step out of your grave clothes. Walk forward in absolute wholeness and complete emotional health. You are no longer a victim of your past. You are a living, victorious witness to my unstoppable healing power. Let the tears you cry today be tears of profound relief. The healing you have desperately prayed for is flowing deeply into your heart right now. Do not let the enemy convince you that your scars disqualify you from my love. Your scars are your powerful testimony. They prove that you survived the blazing fire because I was standing in the flames right beside you. My child, I hear the desperate, tearful cries you pray over your family. I see the tears you shed when you look at the empty chair at your dinner table. I see the painful tension between you and your spouse, the constant, graining arguing that sucks the peace right out of your home. You look at your children and worry deeply about the toxic culture trying to pull them away from my eternal truth. I command you to stop despairing over your family today. I am moving powerfully within your bloodline right now. I am actively turning the hardened hearts of the fathers back to the children, and the rebellious hearts of the children back to their parents. I am the God of absolute restoration, and I am bringing divine, perfect alignment directly into your living room. I see the dark, heavy generational curses that have followed your family line for decades. You have watched the exact same destructive patterns of addiction, divorce, poverty, and sharp anger repeat themselves generation after generation. I am declaring to you today that this dark cycle completely stops with you. I command you to stand up as the bold, spiritual gatekeeper of your home. You have the total authority in my name to draw a solid line in the sand and say, "No more." This ends today. I am giving you the heavy hammer of my word to smash those iron chains once and for all. Because of your radical, unshakable faith, your children will not have to fight the same vicious demons you fought. I am establishing a brand new, powerful legacy of faith for everyone who follows behind you. I know your heart aches intensely for the prodigals who have walked away from me and from you. You wonder late at night if they will ever return. I promise you, I know exactly where they are. My Holy Spirit is relentlessly pursuing them down every dark alley and in every lonely place. I command you to pray for them with a fierce, burning urgency. Do not complain about them to your friends. Decree my powerful promises over their lives. I am orchestrating specific circumstances right now to soften their hard hearts and bring them running back home to you. I am sparking a massive revival, and it is not starting in a crowded church building. It is breaking out right inside the quiet homes of my people. I invite you to rebuild the family altar. Gather your family together. Turn off the endless digital distractions. Open my word and invite my raw, holy presence into your house. When you make your home a dedicated sanctuary for my spirit, the demonic forces of chaos must flee in absolute terror. Watch what I will do. I am healing broken marriages. I am restoring shattered relationships. Stand firm in the doorway of your home and declare that as for you and your house, you will serve the Lord. Speak intense blessing over your children every single morning. I am fighting for your family, my beloved, and the absolute victory is already secured. My precious one, do not pull away from my healing hands. We are touching the deepest, most painful wounds of your family and your past right now. It breaks my heart when my children leave the spiritual surgery table right before the final healing is complete. Do not stop listening. The enemy is desperately whispering for you to turn this off, because he is terrified of the freedom you are about to receive. Honor my voice today. Stay with me, because the next revelation is the very key to your complete restoration. My beloved warrior, you are walking out your front door every single morning completely naked in the spirit realm. I see you getting violently hit from every single side. You are suddenly bombarded by anxious thoughts the very moment you wake up. You face sharp, cruel words from coworkers that ruin your entire day. You endure sudden, unexpected crises that leave you feeling entirely battered, exhausted, and bruised. You constantly wonder why daily life feels so incredibly hard and why you are constantly drained of energy. I am telling you today, you are standing in the direct middle of a brutal spiritual war, and you have completely forgotten to put on your armor. I command you to stop walking into a severe, freezing winter storm without a heavy coat. I invite you right now to be fully and completely clothed in my impenetrable, glowing armor. I have provided every single piece you need to stand completely victorious against the darkness. You must daily strap on the heavy, tight belt of absolute truth. The enemy is the father of all toxic lies, and he constantly whispers poison directly into your ear. He tells you that you are a total failure, that I do not love you, and that your current situation is utterly hopeless. I command you to wrap my truth so tightly around your waist that no lie can possibly penetrate your mind. When you know exactly what my word says, the enemy's dark whispers lose all their power. I command you to put on the thick, steel helmet of salvation to heavily protect your vulnerable mind. Your mind is the primary battlefield in this war. The enemy wants to plant ugly seeds of deep doubt and depression in your daily thoughts. When you wear my heavy helmet, you take every single rogue thought captive immediately. You protect your inner peace with a fierce, unbreakable mental boundary. I am handing you the razor-sharp sword of the Spirit, which is my living, breathing word. You have been fighting defensively for far too long, just trying to survive the daily attacks. I am calling you to go on the fierce, aggressive offensive. When the enemy attacks your health, your fragile finances, or your precious children, you do not just stand there and cry. I command you to open your mouth and swing the heavy sword. Speak my promises out loud into the empty air. Your spoken word is the explosive weapon that literally cuts the enemy down. Put on the heavy iron breastplate of my righteousness to perfectly guard your fragile heart from the crushing, heavy weight of shame. Lace up the sturdy, thick shoes of my peace. The terrain ahead of you is rugged, steep, and rocky. But with my peace tightly strapped to your feet, you will not stumble, and you will not slip backward. I invite you to check for terrible gaps in your spiritual defenses every single morning. Do not leave the door cracked open through unconfessed sin, lingering bitterness, or casual compromise. Seal every gap with the precious, holy blood of my Son. You are completely protected, and I am the mighty commander leading you directly into triumph. My beloved child, open your eyes and look closely at the world around you. I see you sitting in your living room, scrolling through the endless news on your phone, and feeling a deep, cold panic settling into your chest. You see the angry headlines, the bitter conflicts between nations, and the rising chaos in your own city streets. You hear the loud, terrifying rumors of wars, and you immediately wonder how you will possibly keep your family safe. I command you to stop letting digital screens dictate your daily peace. I am holding the complete, absolute prophetic timeline of human history directly in the palm of my hand. You are not living in a random, out-of-control era. I personally chose you to be alive in this exact generation to witness the massive, physical fulfillment of my ancient promises. I invite you to step away from the blind panic of the crowds and stand as a bold, confident watchman on the wall. I need you alert, sober-minded, and completely anchored in my eternal truth, not tossing and turning with every scary news report that flashes across your television. The sudden increase of tension and spiritual activity you are feeling right now is not a sign of my absence. It is the absolute proof of my active presence. I am telling you today, Do not be troubled when the fragile foundations of the earth seem to violently shake. When the entire world screams in fear, I command you to stand completely still and remember exactly who your Father is. I am the sovereign King, and absolutely nothing happens on this earth without my direct permission. I have heavily fortified your life. I have placed a thick, impenetrable hedge of angelic protection around your home, your children, and your future. You do not need to hoard earthly supplies in blind fear. You only need to store up massive amounts of unshakable faith in your heart. The readiness required for these final hours is not about living in constant, nervous anxiety. It is about living in constant, joyful expectation. I want you to walk out into your neighborhood today and carry a completely different atmosphere. Let your worried coworkers and your fearful friends look at you and wonder why you are so incredibly calm when the world is shaking. Tell them you know exactly how this story ends. Tell them you serve the God who holds tomorrow firmly in his grip. I promise to give you supernatural wisdom to easily navigate these confusing times. I will show you exactly what to do, where to go, and how to perfectly protect your loved ones. I command you to actively reject the toxic fear that society tries to force upon your mind. Every single time you hear a terrifying rumor, I want you to instantly replace it with one of my solid, ironclad promises. If the world says the economy is failing, you firmly declare that your God supplies every single one of your needs. You must aggressively protect the gates of your mind today. Do not let the dark spirit of dread enter your sacred space. I have equipped you with everything you need to thrive in the direct middle of a global crisis. You are safe. You are secure. Keep your eyes firmly fixed on me, and you will never stumble. My precious child, I know how incredibly dry and exhausted your spirit feels right now. You have been dragging yourself through your daily routine, feeling like you are walking through a blazing, barren desert. You go to work, you take care of your family, you try to pray, but everything feels completely mechanical and empty. You are desperately thirsty for something real, something powerful, something that actually changes your everyday life. I command you to lift your face toward heaven today. I am gathering massive, dark clouds of blessing right over your head. I am promising you a personal and global outpouring of the latter rain unlike anything you have ever read about in history. I am not just talking about a good feeling on a Sunday morning. I am talking about a violent, rushing flood of my Holy Spirit that will completely wash away your fatigue and your spiritual burnout. I am pouring out my Spirit on all flesh in these exact days. I want to manifest undeniable signs, deep wonders, and shocking miracles directly in your normal, everyday life. I want to heal that chronic pain in your body while you are standing in your kitchen. I want to instantly fix that impossible situation at your job before you even sit down at your desk. But first, I must prepare you to hold this massive blessing. I command you to throw away your old, rigid wineskins. You have been trying to fit my infinite, wild power into your safe, predictable religious boxes. You want me to move, but only if I do it exactly the way you expect. I invite you to surrender your rigid expectations right now. I'm bringing fresh, new wine, and it will completely burst your old, comfortable routines. I need your heart completely soft, flexible, and entirely willing to be stretched by my hand. The deep, painful hunger and thirst you feel inside your chest right now is actually a divine setup. I created that intense spiritual craving inside you because I am preparing to completely satisfy it with a great visitation. I am going to fill you until you are absolutely overflowing. Do not complain about the dry season. The dry ground is exactly what absorbs the heavy rain the fastest. I am getting you ready for a massive harvest of souls. I want to use you to bring my intense love to the broken people you interact with every single day. I want your life to be so completely saturated with my power that when you walk into a dark room, the atmosphere instantly shifts. I promise you, the exhausting drought is officially over. The heavy drops of rain are already falling. Open your mouth. Open your heart. I am going to flood your life with an abundance of my presence that will leave you absolutely breathless. Step out into the downpour and let my living water revive every dead place in your soul. My beloved one, I want to change the very atmosphere of the rooms you walk into. You have been carrying the heavy, exhausting weight of the world on your fragile shoulders. You carry the stress of your bills, the heavy expectations of your family, and the crushing burden of your own past mistakes. I command you to drop that toxic, artificial weight right now. It is completely destroying your health and stealing your peace. I want to replace your heavy burdens with the incredible, tangible weight of my divine glory. When you invite my authentic presence into your messy living room or your stressful workplace, everything must instantly change. My thick, heavy glory is not just a poetic idea. It is a very real, physical presence that completely alters the DNA of your impossible circumstances. I invite you to experience the breathtaking awe and deep reverence of the living God. I know you are used to rushing through your prayers, tossing a few quick requests up to heaven while you are driving to work. I command you to slow down. I want you to stop treating me like a cosmic vending machine and start treating me like the Almighty Creator. When you truly bow your heart in deep, genuine worship, a radical transformation begins. The deep worry lines on your face will completely smooth out. The tight, painful knot in your neck will instantly release. I promise that your literal countenance will completely change when you spend actual, focused time soaking in my presence. People will look at your face and see a bright, unexplainable light shining from your eyes. They will ask you what your secret is, because they will feel the peace radiating off your skin. I am calling you to become a full-time, dedicated carrier of my presence wherever you step today. When you walk into the grocery store, I want my peace to walk in with you. When you sit down in a difficult meeting at your job, I want my absolute authority to command the room through you. But listen to me very carefully. The only way to sustain this heavy, massive glory is through intense, genuine humility. Pride will instantly repel my presence. You must completely let go of your desperate need to be right, your need to be noticed, and your need to be the center of attention. I command you to fall on your knees in the secret place. Lower yourself, and I promise I will lift you up higher than you ever dreamed. Let my glorious weight settle heavily over your household today. Let it completely crush the demonic oppression that has been fighting your family. You were heavily designed to host the glory of the Almighty God. Open your entire being to me right now, and watch how my heavy presence easily destroys the heavy chains in your life. My precious child, I hear the vicious, ugly voices screaming inside your head right now. I know exactly what the enemy whispers to you when you make a simple mistake. He tells you that you are a terrible parent, a complete failure at your job, and a total disappointment to me. He aggressively replays the embarrassing videos of your worst moments, forcing you to watch your past sins over and over again. I command you to violently shut off that screen right now. I am completely silencing the dark voice of shame and cruel condemnation in your life. The enemy is the ultimate accuser, and his only goal is to completely paralyze you with deep, suffocating guilt. He wants you to feel so dirty and unworthy that you refuse to even talk to me. I am telling you today, do not listen to a single word he says. He is a proven liar. I invite you to step into my heavenly courtroom today. The accuser is standing there, pointing a long finger at you, listing every single thing you have ever done wrong. And he is right about your mistakes. You have failed. You have stumbled. But I command you to look at your defense attorney. I have applied the pure, sinless blood of the Lamb over your entire life. That holy blood is your absolute, unbreakable legal defense in heaven. When the enemy screams for your punishment, I slam my heavy gavel down and declare you completely, eternally not guilty. My verdict over your life is absolutely final. There is no higher court. There is no appeal. Your debt has been entirely paid in full by my Son. I command you to completely refuse to agree with the enemy's dark report over your life. Stop calling yourself the terrible names he calls you. When he reminds you of your dark past, I want you to open your mouth and aggressively remind him of his dark future. The raw power of your personal testimony will completely defeat him. You do not have to hide your scars. Your scars prove that you survived the attack and that I healed you. I promise you there is zero condemnation for those who walk with me. I am breaking off the heavy chains of constant guilt that have kept you completely stuck for years. I invite you to stand up straight, take a deep, clean breath, and walk freely in the absolute liberty wherewith I have made you free. You are completely forgiven. You are totally washed clean. You are wrapped in a pure, white robe of my righteousness. March into your day with the fierce, bold confidence of someone who knows all their debts have been canceled forever. Now that you are walking in the absolute, unshakable freedom of my not guilty verdict, I need you to help me shatter the heavy chains of the accused all across this broken earth. There are weeping, broken souls suffocating under the enemy's vicious lies who desperately need this exact revelation to shake them fully awake. I invite you to bring your financial seed into my storehouse today by using the Super Thanks, becoming a dedicated channel member, or giving through the PayPal link in the description below. Every dollar you release is a sharp, flaming arrow shot directly into the darkness, carrying the life-saving gospel to those who have completely lost their hope. I declare over you right now that as you generously fund my kingdom's rescue mission, your own barns will instantly overflow with massive, supernatural provision. The accuser's time is rapidly running out, making your immediate obedience a critical, divine appointment that you cannot miss. Do not hesitate or look back. Plant your seed right now and watch me violently multiply your harvest to change your family tree forever. My brave warrior, you are so incredibly close to the finish line. Do not give up and scroll away now. It would grieve my spirit deeply to watch you drop your heavy sword right before the final, glorious victory is placed directly in your hands. I am speaking absolute, undeniable truth over your life, and I need you to hear every single word until the very end. The accuser wants you to walk away distracted and defeated. I am asking you to stay. Give me your full attention for these final moments, because what I am about to tell you will change your eternal destiny forever. My beloved, I see the deep, paralyzing confusion clouding your mind right now. You are standing at a major crossroad in your life, entirely overwhelmed by the sheer number of voices shouting directions at you. Your friends are giving you logical advice. The internet is selling you 100 different formulas for success, and your own anxieties are screaming loud warnings. You are terrified of making the wrong choice and completely ruining your future. I command you to tune out the loud noise of the world immediately. I am activating the sharp, powerful gift of divine discernment inside your spirit today. I do not want you stumbling blindly in the dark, constantly second-guessing your decisions. I am giving you the exact ability to clearly distinguish between my calm, steady voice, the loud voice of your own flesh, and the deceptive voice of the enemy. Pay very close attention to that deep, quiet gut feeling inside your stomach. When you are about to sign that contract, enter that new relationship, or agree to that massive commitment, and you suddenly feel a heavy, unexplainable check in your spirit, do not ignore it. That is not just natural indigestion or random hesitation. That That is my Holy Spirit throwing up a bright red stop sign to completely protect you from a hidden trap. I command you to trust that internal warning more than you trust a good sales pitch. I am sharply opening your spiritual eyes to instantly detect the wolves hiding in sheep's clothing, even within the walls of your own church or your trusted social circles. People will speak very sweet, religious words to your face, but I will show you the bitter, toxic poison hiding behind their smiles. I invite you to boldly test every single spirit to see if it is truly from me. Does their advice align perfectly with my written word? Does their presence bring deep, lasting peace or sudden, frantic confusion? My voice will never rush you into a panicked, fear-based decision. The enemy uses extreme urgency and deep pressure to force your hand, but I lead you with a calm, gentle shepherd's staff. I promise that as you constantly use this powerful gift of discernment, you will rapidly grow in massive spiritual maturity. You will no longer be easily tricked by shiny, fake opportunities. You will avoid the dangerous landmines the enemy has carefully planted in your path for the coming days. I am giving you the ultimate heavenly radar. Trust the deep peace I place in your heart, and walk confidently away from anything that disrupts it. I will guide your every step, and I promise you will not be deceived. My child, listen to my voice very carefully right now. I see the deep hesitation in your heart when I ask you to do something difficult. You hear my gentle whisper telling you to let go of that toxic relationship, to change your current career path, or to finally forgive that person who hurt you deeply. You know exactly what I am asking you to do, but you keep pausing. You tell me that you will obey tomorrow, or next week, or when the timing feels a little more comfortable. I command you to completely stop making excuses today. I want you to understand that delayed obedience is still a form of disobedience. When you hesitate, you are actually telling me that you trust your own human timing more than you trust my divine wisdom. I invite you to step into radical, immediate obedience right now. You are standing in front of a massive, locked vault of heavenly blessings, and your simple, honest yes is the only key that can unlock it. I am asking you to do things that will make absolutely no sense to your natural, logical mind. I will tell you to be generous when your own bank account is nearly empty. I will tell you to speak love to a coworker who constantly disrespects you. I will tell you to step out of a safe, predictable boat and walk directly onto the crashing, unpredictable waves. I know your flesh screams in loud fear when I give these instructions, but I command you to silence your fear and follow my leading, even when the path ahead looks entirely dark and unclear. You want to see my raw, supernatural power manifest in your daily life, but you refuse to take the necessary steps of faith. There is a direct, unbreakable correlation between your daily obedience and my daily power. If you want to walk in absolute authority, you must first walk in absolute surrender. I am not trying to control you out of cruelty. I am trying to guide you out of immense love. I see how you calculate the risks. You write down the pros and cons on a piece of paper, trying to figure out if obeying me will cost you too much of your comfort. I command you to tear up that piece of paper right now. You cannot calculate the kingdom of heaven with earthly math. Your human logic will always try to talk you out of your miracle. I invite you to close your eyes and take a blind leap of faith directly into my waiting arms. I am entirely trustworthy. I have never dropped you, and I will never start dropping you now. The massive blessings that are waiting for you on the other side of your obedience are so much larger than the tiny comforts you are terrified to lose. Give me your complete, unfiltered yes today. When you finally say yes to my instructions, a heavy, suffocating weight will instantly fall off your shoulders. The deep, agonizing stress of trying to manage your own life will completely vanish. I promise you a profound, unshakable peace that only comes from being planted firmly in the exact center of my perfect will. Do not wait for a burning bush or a loud voice from the sky. Obey the quiet prompting I placed in your heart this very morning. Step forward right now. I am holding your hand tightly, and I promise that your radical obedience will birth a radical, beautiful miracle in your everyday life. My beloved, look at how fast you are running. I see you rushing frantically from the exact moment your alarm clock rings until you completely collapse into your bed at night. You are constantly striving, constantly working, and constantly trying to force your life to move forward. You believe the heavy, toxic lie that if you stop working for even 1 second, your entire world will completely fall apart. I command you to stop running right now. I am inviting you to completely cease from your own exhausting labors and put your absolute trust in mine. You are operating entirely on empty fumes, and your physical body is screaming loudly for relief. I created a divine rhythm of grace to prevent this severe spiritual and physical burnout. I designed the Sabbath rest not as a heavy religious rule, but as a beautiful, life-saving gift for your weary soul. I want you to find true, deep rest for your mind, even in the middle of a loud, demanding, and incredibly busy world. You do not have to wait for an expensive vacation to experience my peace. I command you to carve out sacred moments of stillness right where you are standing today. Sometimes, I will bring your frantic plans to a sudden, crashing halt. I will allow sickness, a delay, or a sudden change of schedule to force you to sit down. Do not get angry or panic when this happens. This forced rest is exactly what precedes your greatest spiritual promotion. I need your hands completely empty and perfectly still before I can place the next heavy blessing into them. I invite you to dwell comfortably in the finished, completed work of the cross. You are constantly trying to earn my love and earn your salvation by doing more and more good deeds. Stop striving. The heavy price was already paid in full. There is absolutely nothing more you can add to my perfect sacrifice. I see the thick guilt you feel when you finally sit down to rest on your couch. The enemy instantly whispers that you are lazy, that you are falling behind your peers, and that you are missing out on highly important opportunities. I command you to reject those cruel lies immediately. My definition of success looks nothing like the world's definition. The world demands constant hustle and endless exhaustion. I demand completely peaceful trust. You are my precious child, not a machine built for endless production. I love you for exactly who you are, not for what you produce on your busy schedule. Close your eyes right now. Take a deep, slow breath of my heavenly air. Allow my deep, comforting peace to wash over every single exhausted cell in your body. Let the heavy tension melt out of your tight shoulders. Let the racing thoughts in your mind completely slow down. When you wait on me, you are not wasting your time, you are actively renewing your strength. I promise to fill you with a fresh, vibrant energy that no amount of sleep can ever provide. I will restore your tired mind, your aching body, and your exhausted spirit. Give me your endless to-do list today. Trust that I can accomplish more in your surrender than you can ever accomplish in your frantic striving. Rest securely in my strong arms, and let me carry the heavy weight for you. My precious child, I need you to deeply understand the massive power you hold right inside your mouth. You look at the dark news on your phone screen. You see the brokenness in your local schools, the severe sickness in your hospitals, and the heavy corruption in your government, and you feel entirely helpless. You throw your hands up and say, "What can one normal person possibly do to change this massive mess?" I command you to stop speaking words of helpless defeat today. I am calling you right now to the high, holy mandate of intense, targeted intercession. You are not a powerless bystander living in this broken world. You are a royal priest, and your spoken prayers carry enough explosive power to completely shift the atmosphere of your entire city. I invite you to join the unified, passionate prayers of the saints all across the globe. When you gather with your brothers and sisters and cry out to me in perfect unity, a massive, unstoppable earthquake happens immediately in the spirit realm. I am looking for brave men and women who will stand boldly in the dangerous gap for their broken nations and their blind leaders. Do not just complain about the darkness in your neighborhood. I command you to open your mouth and command the pure light to shine. Your sincere, tearful petitions rise up to my throne like sweet, burning incense. That beautiful fragrance directly moves my heavy hand to act powerfully on the earth. You are literally birthing my divine purposes into your physical reality through your constant, daily prayers. The greatest, most violent warfare you will ever engage in does not happen with physical weapons or angry arguments. It happens quietly, privately, directly down on your knees in your bedroom. I see you praying over the empty beds in your house. I see you whispering desperate prayers over your sleeping children. Those specific prayers are acting as thick, impenetrable shields of solid iron around your loved ones right now. I see the times you prayed for something big, and nothing seemed to happen. You felt foolish, and the enemy convinced you that prayer is just a total waste of your breath. I command you to shake off that deep discouragement right now. You cannot see the massive roots breaking violently beneath the hard soil. You cannot see the dark, demonic structures completely crumbling every single time you speak my holy name out loud. Your prayers are accumulating heavily in the golden bowls of heaven, and they are about to tip over and pour out a massive flood of divine justice on your life. Do not stop praying when you are standing just 1 inch away from your massive breakthrough. I am calling for a massive, worldwide movement of unceasing prayer, and I am starting it directly inside your heart today. I want you to pray when you are driving in your car to work. I want you to pray when you are walking down the grocery store aisle. Turn your entire daily routine into a constant, flowing dialogue with me. I promise you that when you begin to pray for the truly impossible, I will begin to do the completely impossible. Open your mouth today. Lift up your voice like a loud trumpet. You have the direct ear of the Almighty God. Use your holy access to change the history of your generation. My beloved, look straight into my eyes as I give you this final, heavy charge. You are living in the very final, closing moments of a very long, incredibly dark night. The beautiful, bright, morning dawn is rapidly approaching. I command you to wake up fully and live with a sharp, eternal perspective every single day of your life. Stop obsessing so intensely over the temporary, fading things of this physical world. Your new car, your bank account, and your social status will all eventually burn away like dry grass in the sun. I invite you to invest your precious time, your money, and your energy into the eternal things that will absolutely never die. I am placing a burning, unshakable urgency inside your chest for the Great Commission in these final hours. Look closely at your neighbors, your coworkers, and your unsaved family members. They are walking entirely blind toward a steep, dark cliff, and you are holding the only bright flashlight. I command you to make every single moment count for the glorious kingdom of heaven. Do not waste another day living in paralyzing fear, living in comfortable apathy, or living just to please your own selfish desires. I am coming back very soon, and I am bringing a massive, glorious reward completely with me. That eternal reward perfectly awaits the faithful, wise, and incredibly brave servant who absolutely refused to compromise their faith. I want to look directly at your face on that great day and say, "Well done, my good and faithful child." I command you to keep your spiritual lamp perfectly trimmed and burning bright. Keep it heavily overflowing with the fresh, pure oil of my Holy Spirit. Do not let your fire go out just because you got too tired, or too hurt, or too distracted by the world's endless entertainment. You must stay fully awake. You must stay heavily engaged in this daily battle. I am sending you out right now as a fierce, unstoppable light. I see the heavy tears of exhaustion forming in your eyes, but I command you to wipe them away completely. This is not the time to wave a white flag and surrender. This is the exact time for you to roar. You carry the very DNA of the Almighty Creator directly inside your veins. The enemy desperately wants you to shrink back into the dark shadows and live a quiet, totally defeated life. I command you to step out and take up massive spiritual space in your home and your workplace. Let your bold faith completely shut the people around you. Let your radical, crazy generosity confuse a very selfish world. Let your deep, unexplainable peace serve as a massive beacon of hope to everyone drowning in daily anxiety. You are my hands, my feet, and my voice on this broken earth. I have fully equipped you with every single weapon you need to secure absolute, undeniable victory. Until that glorious trumpet sounds, I command you to violently occupy your space on this earth. Take back the ground the enemy stole from your family. And as you step out into the raging storm of this world, hold tightly to my final, unbreakable promise. Behold, I am with you always, even to the very end of the age. You are never, ever alone. I am breathing in your lungs. I am fighting for your future. Rise up now, my precious child. Your greatest, most triumphant hour has finally arrived. My beloved, the great trumpet is already at your door, and this earth-shattering revelation is my final call to gather the harvest before the dark night completely falls. The global fields are burning white with desperate, starving souls, and your financial generosity is the exact sickle I use to reap them safely into my eternal kingdom. I directly invite you to cast your bread upon these rushing waters today by giving a super thanks, becoming a kingdom member, or planting a seed through the PayPal link in the description. Every single offering you release becomes pure, burning oil in the lamps of those who are stumbling blindly in the midnight hour. I decree that as you actively finance the urgent spread of my word, I will completely rebuke the devourer over your life and open the massive floodgates of heaven over your home. We are living in the most critical divine appointment in human history, and there is absolutely no time left for fear or delay. Step forward in radical faith, release your offering right now, and violently occupy this world for my glory until I return. Amen.